Hello all. In today's video, we're going to cover one of the very important questions from your board point of view, law of demand. It is one of the very important question. If you've seen in the last paper and before that too, this question has been asked again and again. Let's understand exactly the law of demand says us. Introduction. Make sure you follow the sequence. I'm always repeating, make sure you follow the sequence. Introduction, statement of law, schedule, diagram, explanation of the diagram, assumption or exception anyone can ask for your paper. What is meant by introduction? What exactly the introduction talks here? The law was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall. इस लॉ को बनाया है प्रोफेसर अल्फ्रेड मार्शल ने उनके अपने एक बुक के अंदर उसने उन्होंने इस लॉ को अपनी बुक पे लिखा हुआ है प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ इकोनॉमिक and it got published in the year 1890, which shows the relation between the price and the quantity demanded, which clear cut show the price and the quantity demanded. At what price, at what quantity are demanded in the markets. That is what exactly the law trying to say. Let's understand the statement of law. According to Professor Alfred Marshall, other things being equal, other things remain same or other things remain constant. Higher the price of the commodity, smaller the quantity demanded. And lower the price of the commodity, larger the quantity demanded. So here we can clearly see the price and the quantity are inverse or they are opposite to each other. So thus, there is an inverse relation between the price and the quantity demanded. The price and the quantity has an inverse relation. Inverse means there has an opposite relation. Whenever the price increases, the quantity decreases. And whenever the price decreases, automatically customer will demand more or the quantity will be highly demanded. Next point is, let's understand a table here. At 50 rupees, only 1 kg were demanded of any of the product. They have taken example of a Y, of a X. When the price is 50, the quantity only 1 kg were demanded. When the price decreased from 50 to 30, the quantity got increased from 1 kg to 3 kgs. And further decreased price from 30 to 10, there is further increase in demand from 3 kg to 5 kg. So the picture is very clear. Whenever there is a decrease in price, there will be increase in demand. Whenever there is decrease in price, there will be increase in demand. So the demand and price they completely has the inverse or the opposite relation or the opposite connection. Price and demand will never go up or never go down together. They go in the opposite direction. So here the table shows more quantity demanded at less price, less quantity demanded at high price. It is clearly shown again in diagram as well. Where a diagram you can see a left hand sloping curve. The curve sloping from left to right. Here the picture is very clear at the rate of 50. Only one quantity were demanded. At the rate of 30, 3 quantity were demanded. At the rate of 10, 5 quantities were demanded. So here the demand curve, the DD curve, slopes from left to right downward. The DD curve slopes left to right downward. It has a very clear inverse or opposite relation to each other. In economics, many students who ask me, sir, is that diagram and table is important? In economics, it is highly important. Do not do any answer or do not write any answer without diagram or table. If there is any table, if there is any diagram is given, you have to make it. You have to do it. It's a compulsory kind of. It carries a very good marks. Let's understand few of the assumptions of law of demand. Constant level of income. The law of demand is to find true operate. Then the consumer income should be remain constant. If you want to apply law of demand in a very true manner, in a very right manner, we have to assume the income of the consumer should be remain same. Because if the income increases, customer will demand more. Even in a high price, consumer will demand more. So that is why we believe the price will change and the demand will change. but the income or the salary of a person should not to be changed here. Second point, no change in size of population. Places like India, China, where there is more population, even if the income is less, then too they can demand more because of the huge population what the country are holding to. So that is why we believe there will be no any change in size of population. If the population is more, it is okay. It should be more. If the population is less, it should be less. There is no any changes in size of population because population changes or the size of population can also influence the demand. That's why we should believe there should not be any change in size of population. Whatever the demand are arising or getting low, if the demand is arising more or it is not being demanded, it should be just because of price. No any other reason could be a part of. Third point is price of substitute goods remain constant. Substitute goods. Let's understand what is the exactly meaning of substitute goods. Are those which can be used in place of another. Substitute goods are those which can be used in place of another. Where Coke and Pepsi, like tea and coffee, they are substitute to each other. If one goods is not available, we can go with some other goods. So that is why we should remember the price of the substitute goods also should be same. There should not be any change in price of the substitute goods. Any changes in price of the other goods which are closely connected or related. Because their price can influence the demand of our product which we are testing in law of demand. Fourth point is price of complementary goods remain constant. The complementary goods also should be value remain constant. Complementary goods are those which will go one with another. Which will go one with another. They cannot be used separately. Or they have no use separately. Example, ink and pen. Car or fuel. They go together. So that is why we call the price of the substitute or the complementary goods also should be same. If the price increase of a petrol, if the petrol price increases, demand for car and bike automatically get decreases. So we should assume there should not be any change in price of petrol. So there will be no change in price or there is no change in demand of car or bike. So the complementary goods, the attached goods should also remain the same price. So there should not be any change in their price as well. Fifth point is no expectation about future changes in price. Customer should not expect or the consumer should not expect any changes in price that are going to arise in future. Because if the consumer believes that the price is going to change, it is going to increase in future, he will demand more for now. If he believes it is going to less, he will demand less for now. So the consumer expectation can change or can make any changes in the demand what has been arising now. So the consumer should not expect the future changes that will get or that can arise in the goods or in the product what is been demanding has currently. No change in taste, habit, preference, fashion. There should not be any changes in taste or habit or fashion or preference because these are the four important reasons why the consumer demand different goods or why the tastes are different or why the tastes are the demands get different sometimes. The consumer who are going with the formal cloth, the consumer who preferring a formal cloth and because of change in fashion, he may go with jeans or t-shirt. So automatically the demand for formal clothes will get down, will come down. So that is why we have to assume that taste, habit, fashion and preference should not change in application of law of demand. Seventh point is no change in taxation policy. The government taxation policy or the government policy simply what we can call. If the taxation policy is in our favor, is in customer's favor, the customer can demand more. If the taxation policy is against customer, if it is not in favor of customer, in that condition, customer will demand less. So the customer demand are changing due to government policy as well. So we have to assume there should not be any change in government taxation policy. If the government are charging more, they will charge more. If the government was charging less, they will charge less. There will not be any changes in taxation policy. So these are the assumptions of law of demand. This question may come either exception they can ask you. Exceptions are the condition where the law of demand, the simple law of demand cannot be applicable. Because law, what it says, when the price goes up, the demand should come down. And when the price comes down, the demand should move up. But in this condition, in exception, the law cannot be applicable. So let's understand what the situation is and why the law is not able to applicable here. Let's understand the first point. Giffen paradox. Giffen paradox, the inferior goods or the low quality goods are those goods whose demand does not arise or does not rise even if the price falls. Given goods, like example of matchbox or example take a bread. When the price of a matchbox or when the price of a bread comes down or decreases, the demand cannot be increases or demand cannot be increased because the consumer can use the remaining money or can utilize some other goods with the remaining money is left out with the goods that reduce in price. For example, a bread used to be charged for 20 rupees and now it is been charged for 15. The customer will not demand two bread pockets here. He will utilize that 5 rupees for some other consumption or for some other demand. So that is why it is been shown here. The Giffen paradox here, the low quality or the inferior quality goods value, if it decreases, the demand for that particular goods cannot increase or cannot be highly demanded. Sir Robert Giffen has observed the behavior in England, the relation to bread. He noted that when the price of the bread declined, people did not buy more because of an increase in their real income or purchasing power. They preferred to buy superior goods like meat. So whatever the left out money, after buying the bread, whatever the money left out with, the consumer are preferring to buy some any other goods like a meat has been shown here. Next point is prestige goods. Expensive goods like diamond, gold, etc. are the status symbol. So goods which show status of a person, goods which being used to show just as a financial condition. In this condition, what happens when the price increases, automatically the demand also get increases. For example, gold is around more than 1 lakh rupees and still people are demanding because it is a status symbol. Wearing more gold shows you're more rich. So the goods like a status symbol, the goods like iPhone, gold or diamond, they can be demanded more in very high price also. So here simply the law of demand cannot be applicable. Third point is speculation. Speculation here what happens? Consumer make a speculation that the increase in price can increase further. So that we call speculation. Example I want to begin with. In Diwali, when there is increase in price in sugar and oil, edible oil, still we buy more with the speculation that if we don't buy now, in upcoming days, the price will increase further. So it is better to buy it more and more for now. So here what happens, the customers are buying more goods in high price with the expectation or the speculation that this price is going to increase further in future. That is called as speculation. Next one is price illusion. Price illusion, customer make a mentality that goods with the high price is of a good quality and goods with the low price doesn't carry or may not have any quality. Goods with the high price may have a very good quality and goods with the very low price may not have any good quality. So here the consumer make a mentality that high price goods should be bought or should buy. The consumer should buy a high price goods, so then only the quality will be standardized, so then only the quality must be good standard. If they buy a very less price goods, the quality may not be in that appropriate. That we call price illusion. Fifth point is ignorance. Ignorance is a condition where the consumers are not aware about the real price of the goods. So here it is not being forcefully the consumer does here, but the consumer who is not really aware about what the real price of the goods, the consumer may pay more amount to any other market and later on he comes to know the price is really less than actually what he paid for. So that we call ignorance. Ignorance simply we can call a lack of knowledge and because of that consumer had paid more. Sixth point is habitual goods. In a today recently government has said they're going to increase taxation, or they're going to add more GST to tobacco and cigarette kind of goods. But still consumer will purchase, or still consumer will buy, because they are habitual with the goods which they are habitual with, the goods they are highly attached to. They cannot reduce the demand for that. Example, the people who cannot start their work without having tea or coffee. Later on, if the tea and coffee price increases, then to the consumer will prefer that, because they are habitual to that goods. They are habitual to that product. So that is we call habitual goods. Habitual goods, ignorance, price illusion, speculation, Giffen paradox, and prestige goods. These are the six conditions where a law of demand cannot be applicable, where the law of demand cannot work in the expected manner, or it cannot be work in a right manner how the law has been made for. Hope you have understood my video. If really you have understand, please like to my video, comment, share with your friends. It can benefit them too. Please subscribe to my channel. I will post a regular updates. So please press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much.